You know, I come from a background of making small things with my family and my friends. And literally, our first movie was a $3 movie we shot in our kitchen. So it is different, but honestly, lovely. Your job gets simplified. A lot of the work I do, I'm the producer and the writer and the director and the actor, and you're wearing all these hats and you're stressed out. And I had one job here, which is to support and try to make everybody else look good.
I actually met you years ago now when you were promoting The One I Love
Oh yeah, sure. That makes sense.
at the American Film Institute. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, I did my directing masters there, and the
interesting.
director Charlie was,
Charlie is an alum. Yeah.
yeah, and I remember you talking about making it for about 40,000, which is just crazy. I mean, like, what's it like being on a set now where, I mean, that would be the catering budget for
Yeah.
like 2 days. I mean, do you ever just think, I could give me the catering budget for today and I can make 3 movies? Like,
I used to think that a lot, particularly when I first started getting on big sets. But it's not the first time I've been on a big set before, you know?
yeah.
Like as an actor, I've showed up on a couple of bigger sets, so I've gotten myself used to it to a certain degree. Um, but it's not the kind of thing that I would feel comfortable running as a producer. I think that that level of expenditure and that level of stress, I mean, we really felt it, whether it was true or not, that that the morning show was kind of Apple's flagship show. And we better have been good with the money they were spending on it. And as a producer, I think I would crumble under that kind of pressure. I really enjoy the feeling of what you're talking about with The One I Love, which is let's try to be really creative with limited resources, which also helps me creatively. I work well within limits. And then if it comes out decent, we'll look like a huge success as opposed to, something where you spend $100 million, unless you knock it out of the park, you probably aren't going to work again. And that's just, I don't function well in that kind of environment as a creator, but as an actor, to be a part of that machine and have all those bells and whistles, that's fun.
And you had Mimi Leader direct the pilot, which is just crazy. I mean, how many takes did it take to get that opening shot? It's just beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. That opening shot, I remember reading that and feeling like, oh shit, this pressure. We got to get this right, and I gotta, and it's a different kind of acting because there's a little more geometry and math
Yeah,
involved, and a little more counting, and a little more kind of
choreography.
be aware of when is the camera coming to you, and so you can exhale at the same time. Which I don't mind that stuff. Like I know that like some actors are like, I can't be in my head at all. I got to be in the moment. Me, like I'm aware of camera most of the time. So that was definitely part of it. I think we did quite a few takes, but I think it ended up being like the third or the fourth one where we were like, I think that'll probably be it. Let's do a few more. Believe it or not, though, on like a big budget movie like this, you'd think that there would be, or a big budget show, you'd
Yeah,
think there would be like time, like oodles and oodles of time to do as many
yeah,
takes as you want. But it actually felt quite fast paced because it was such a big show. And even though we were large, in terms of our budget, it definitely felt like we got to move or else we're going to run out of time. And
yeah.
weirdly, like even on my tiny movies where we only have say $50,000 to do it, my secret approach to this is I actually have quite a bit of time to shoot on my tiny movies, because what I do is I build a movie that should be shot for say $25,000, and then I shoot it for 50. And then it feels like, oh my God, we've got so much money and so much time. And so we actually didn't have the luxury of time. But Mimi is an unbelievable director and a force, and really one of the original female episodic directors in this space, like duking it out in the 90s when there were no other women around in that true boys club.
Yeah.
And like so awesome to see her like really get her due now.
Is there anything that sort of novel-wise or film-wise you've ever thought I could do a really great remake? Like I've always wanted to remake Cat People or something silly like that. But is there anything you've
Yeah.
kind of gone, I would love to just get my hands on that and rework the material?
Yeah, no one really knows this, but there was a moment maybe about 10 years ago where my brother and I were gonna remake the film Same Time Next Year, which was a big
Oh,
stage play.
wow.
And the story is just great. It's set with this couple who they're happily married to other people, but they fall in love. And so they just meet once a year, over the years, and it tracks them through time. And as you can see, it has the DNA of what I love to do, just people
Yeah,
in space.
completely.
And we got close to working on something like that, and that one has always stayed with me. The thing that's weird is that I have a hard time. A lot of people say, well, why don't you make feature films out of your documentaries like Wild Wild Country? But
Hmm.
if there's a good piece of art, I don't like messing with it, whether it's a narrative or a documentary. Like I could
Yeah,
never make a narrative out of Wild Wild Country that would beat the documentary. And there are so many movies that I love that I would like to be in the world of, but I feel like they already did that. So I'm not a big rebooter or remaker. That being said, I'm obsessed with novellas. 80 to
hmm.
120 page
Yeah.
stories tend to adapt really well for
Like
movies.
Brokeback Mountain. Yeah.
Yes, and I'm always thinking about that, and I'm always reading and researching those little bullets. Even things that Stephen King makes, I'm obsessed with structurally. So I haven't gotten my way around to actually making something, but I do like that, and I think someday, like maybe I'll write a novella that I can then adapt and pull it into it, and I don't know. We'll see.